So I want to make this video because I think that this is it. This is the moment where things change for everyone. I could be off a couple weeks or even a few months, who knows? But I think that 2024 is the year where things change dramatically for every single person. We're going to have this moment where it's before AI and after AI. So let's talk about it. First of all, let me explain why I'm talking about this in the first place. In the next 30 days, we're going to have events from OpenAI, Google, and Apple all set to put out products, services, features, everything centered around AI. And on the surface, this isn't anything new, right? They hold these events every year, and they've been talking about AI for months. But the reason I think everything is about to change is because of agents. Agents are basically AIs that can do things for you, instead of just writing a prompt and getting text back out. And we've seen a lot of examples of this, like Jarvis in Iron Man, where it can do any task, it knows everything about Tony Stark, and it can go out and actually take action by itself. But in the real world, we haven't seen that yet. In fact, if we're being honest, for most people, AI hasn't been that useful as of yet. Sure, you can ask ChatGPT to write an email draft for you or even ask it to plan your trip. But at the end of the day, it's still text in, text out. You have to take that and then go do all the actions yourself. And unless you're really deep in the AI world, looking at every single release and trying to figure out how to get around the little quirks, then the reality is that AI isn't solving that many real problems for you yet. But in the next few weeks, there's a good chance that that's all going to change. Imagine you could tell Siri to organize your calendar to make sure that you get all your to-do list done by Friday. Or that you could ask ChatGPT to go out and do a full market research report for a business idea that you just had. Or even ask your personal AI to buy flowers for Mother's Day and make a montage with all the pictures of you and her. That's the kind of thing that true agents would be able to help us with. And with so much research and focus going into agents, we're going to be able to do stuff like this a lot sooner than people think. We've already seen some little glimpses of true autonomous agents. One of them was Devin, an AI software engineer by Cognition Labs that was 8 times better than GPT-4 at coding. Of course, that's before we realized that it wasn't that great at coding and ended up writing bugs that it fixed by itself. And then there was the Figure robot that used OpenAI's voice engine to be able to seamlessly talk with humans as it accomplished tasks. But as you can imagine, we're not getting humanoid robots in our houses anytime soon, especially given the fact that the robot needed to be plugged into hefty computers to even be able to process information in the first place. But even though these demos didn't live up to the hype today, that could be completely different tomorrow. When you take a look at the AI landscape, you quickly realize that everyone has been working on agents for the past year, some even years. Apple, for example, has been putting out research papers on how they're making AI models much more efficient and how they're gonna use AI to be able to control your phone. Google has already teased their agents, like where Assistant can call a hair salon for you and book the appointment without you doing anything. Not to mention, OpenAI released function calling on GPT-4 a while ago, which allows you to call an API and basically have the model do tasks for you. So it really seems that everything is converging towards this point, where models are smarter and more efficient and able to take action for you. And that's the key of why everyone's life is about to change. We're not just talking about debugging code or writing essays. For the very first time, we're about to talk to systems that are designed for humans. No learning curve, no complicated UI, nothing. You just talk to it, it knows everything about you, and it can take action on your behalf. Now, as impressive as ChatGPT was, one of two things happened the first time that you used it. Either you tried it a couple of times, you didn't really find a real use for it, and now you use it from time to time, or it was perfect for your specific use case, probably based off text or even coding, and now you use it every day and it hasn't made that much of a difference. Maybe it helps you be a little bit more productive, but that's pretty much it. In both cases, it's just this thing that's there. It's impressive, but it hasn't changed much of your daily life. And I think what's been missing can be summarized to two things: actions and context. Actions we already talked about. We want AI to do things for us without any interaction on our part. Do this thing, come back. That's it. And then for context, it's about reducing as much as possible the clarifications or the prompting on the user side. Like when you're talking to your coworker or your friend, you don't have to spend 5 minutes explaining who you are, what you're working on, what type of answers you like. They know you, so they just understand what you're talking about, and you can just have a normal conversation. And this is fundamentally missing from AI right now, especially for chatbots, where the experience of giving it your data is long, time consuming, you have to do a bunch of workarounds, and it's just honestly a terrible experience. But we're at a point where we have everything that we need to be able to change that. And at least the tech for it is definitely ready. We have fast computers, fast models, and consumers want fully autonomous AI assistants. So for these big AI companies like Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, whatever, it's the only real step that makes sense. And whether this happens at OpenAI's event or Apple's WWDC, we're on the cusp of AI becoming useful for everyone. A time where you can wake up in the morning, go to work, and start collaborating with a personalized AI that knows everything about you and truly takes work off of your plate. A time where you can create, brainstorm, learn, vent, or just kick it with something that isn't a human, but truly feels like it understands you to a profound level. And I know this might sound crazy, and maybe it's not coming tomorrow, but we know for a fact that it will be here someday, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be sooner than we think. So in the meantime, buckle your seatbelt, and thank you for being along for the ride. I'll see you soon. Peace.